In the 6th year of our marriage, my husband, who usually posed as a vegetarian, bead-counting, abstinent Buddhist, suddenly slapped me. The reason: his mistress and illegitimate son were in a car accident, and he decided I was the one who hired someone to do it. Suddenly, I didn't want to endure it anymore. I just wanted to smash everything to pieces and ensure no one had a good time. Later, he frantically tried to make amends, but there was no going back. Slap. I was in a terrible mood, immersing myself in playing the violin to relieve my stress, when Sebastian stormed in. He grabbed my shoulder from behind, spun me around, and slapped me hard across the face. My left ear instantly started ringing, and my cheek burned with pain. The hostility I had suppressed for over 20 years could no longer be contained. As soon as I regained my balance, I glared at him with murderous intent. The car accident involving Tiffany and Toby this morning, did you hire someone to do it? Did I warn you not to touch them? Tiffany was the love of his life and his mistress. Toby was his illegitimate son. Whenever anything happened to Thema, scrape or a bump, blamed it on me. Without distinguishing right from wrong, he assumed I was the mastermind. Facing his furious, accusatory face, I furrowed my brows, clenched my teeth, and swung the violin in my hand directly at his head. I showed no mercy. I intended to crack his skull open. Thud. Unfortunately, I was holding the violin with my left hand, so the force wasn't strong enough to actually kill him. Audrey, are you crazy? Caught off guard by my counterattack, Sebastian stumbled back 2 steps, shocked and dizzy. He roared at me in rage. I didn't back down. I've grown up without anyone ever slapping me. Try touching me again, and I swear I will kill you. You scumbag. Sebastian looked at me in shock and disbelief. I, who had always been docile, patient, and compromising, had actually bared my fangs and fought back. Didn't I say that Tiffany wouldn't shake your position as Mrs. Goo? Why did you have to touch them? Huh? I sneered, laughing out of anger. Sebastian, do you think you're the only man in the world? Are you some unique treasure? Is the position of Mrs. Goo some rare commodity? Do you think I actually care about it? Faced with my sharp ridicule, Sebastian was rendered speechless for a moment. Tiffany might care about a piece of trash like you, but I don't. She and her son are like ants to me. I disdain to deal with them. If I really wanted them dead, I would have struck a fatal blow. I wouldn't allow them to hop around in front of me repeatedly. Do you understand? If you understand, get out. This is my house, and you are not welcome here. Sebastian stared at me in astonishment, gritting his teeth as he spoke word by word. Stop acting in front of me. Others might not know you, but I do. For the sake of profit, you can endure anything and do anything. I told you, Tiffany and Toby are my bottom line. Don't be ungrateful. I'm acting. Can I outact you? You spend all day chanting Buddha's name, claiming to be deeply in love, but in your bones, you're just scum. Your father shared his wife and concubines and brought his illegitimate son into the house, and now you want to do the same. Why don't you just ascend to heaven? Even a trash bag doesn't hold as much garbage as you. I knew exactly where to poke to hurt him the most. Sure enough, Sebastian turned red with shame and anger, speechless. At least he still had some sense of shame to know his actions were disgraceful. I can bend and stretch for profit by any means necessary. Didn't you force the woman you love to be a mistress for profit, doing shameful deeds? Are you really any nobler than me, pretending to be a Buddhist all day? Even Buddha would be disgusted by your despicableness. You scumbag. You. Do you want a divorce? Sebastian blurted it out in anger, thinking it would threaten me. I replied with disdain. Yes. Hurry up. Otherwise, your mistress might get impatient and keep cooking up schemes to frame me, even if she isn't tired of it. I'm tired for her. I will investigate this matter thoroughly. If you really did it, I won't let you off. After his angry warning, Sebastian stormed off, looking furious. The housekeeper stood aside holding tea, daring not to say a word, and quietly left the living room. I looked down at the broken violin in my hand. It was like my broken life, tattered and in need of serious repair. Before the arranged marriage, I knew Sebastian had a white moonlight of first love, but she was in a vegetative state, having been in a coma for over 2 years. Ever since her car accident, Sebastian had become a vegetarian Buddhist, prayer beads always in hand, praying for her safety and keeping himself chaste for her. But as the eldest grandson of the Gu family, he couldn't spend his life waiting for a living corpse unless he gave up his inheritance and all the resources the Gu family provided. Even if he was willing, his elders wouldn't allow it, especially his mother, Mrs. Caldwell, who would rather kill his lover than let him give up the family business. So, due to various factors, he chose to marry me, a daughter of the Mo family. The reason was laughable. They said my eyes looked like his white moonlight. Tiffany, And I had my own reasons for agreeing. I was the eldest granddaughter of the Mo family, but my only use was as a tool for political marriage, a stepping stone for the family's growth. I wasn't valued. I had a younger sister and brother from the same mother. The other grandchildren were my father's illegitimate children, or the children of my uncle. 5 years ago, my mother was in a car accident and became a vegetative state. Within 6 months, my father's mistress strutted into the house and became the mistress of the main household. If I didn't agree to the marriage, not only would my siblings suffer, but my mother's medical fees wouldn't be guaranteed. I had no choice but to swallow my pride and agree. Besides, Sebastian's conditions weren't bad on paper, except for having someone else in his heart. There was nothing unacceptable about him. However, unexpectedly, in the 3rd year of our marriage, Tiffany woke up. Her awakening quickly shattered the polite facade of our marriage, turning it into a 3-person entanglement. Especially after she got pregnant with Toby, she entered and exited various Goo family occasions without restraint, being called Little Mrs. Goo. She provoked me repeatedly, stripping me of my dignity and turning me into a joke in others' mouths, yet I had to endure it. I hadn't thought about divorce, but the time hadn't been right. I didn't want to let those who humiliated me off so easily. Ring, ring, ring. A sudden ringtone interrupted my gloomy thoughts. I turned and saw it was a call from the hospital caretaker. I answered immediately. Hello, Mrs. Lee. Is something wrong? Audrey, something happened to your mother. Come to the hospital quickly. I felt like I had been struck by lightning. Panicked, I hung up, grabbed my things, and drove to the hospital. When I arrived outside the emergency room, the doctors were still resuscitating her. Mrs. Lee said my mother's breathing had suddenly stopped. Also, Brenda, my father's mistress, had visited and said some nasty things. Brenda was the mistress my father was desperate to legitimize. This definitely had something to do with her. The light in the emergency room went out. The doctor came out, took off his mask, and said, "We tried our best. Please accept our condolences and prepare for the funeral." My mind buzzed. My body went limp like a broken string. I stumbled and nearly fell, but Mrs. Lee and the doctor caught me just in time. Only one sentence echoed in my mind. I don't have a mother anymore. Mrs. Lee helped me sit down and comforted me gently. You have to be strong so your mother can be at peace. She was experienced and asked, do you want to notify others now? Your brother and sister should want to see her one last time. I took deep breaths to calm myself down, forcing myself to handle everything rationally. Soon, I regained my composure and decided to call the police and request an autopsy. I wasn't going to let any evil person go. 2 days later, the autopsy was completed. My mother was transferred to the funeral home. I notified my siblings to help with the arrangements. I didn't notify anyone else from the Mo family or the Goo family. No one cared anyway. My mother was disliked in life. There was no need to let people annoy her in death. But at the funeral, the Mo family came. Seeing Brenda's smug face, her uncontrollable smile, and her fake incense offering, the rage inside me exploded. In front of everyone, I raised my leg and kicked her hard, sending her flying. The crowd gasped in shock. Ah, Audrey, are you crazy? After Brenda screamed, my father, Richard, roared at me, looking like he wanted to tear me apart. I stared back coldly. 5 years ago, the car accident my mother had was her doing. You were involved too. This time, my mother's sudden death was also ordered by her. She had drugs injected. Don't think I don't know. What nonsense are you talking about? The guests began to gossip loudly. Richard shouted in shame and anger. My mother was the only seal holding back my rage. Now that she was gone, I had no scruples. I sneered. I'm talking nonsense. Then how do you explain his existence? I pointed angrily at their illegitimate son. Caleb, what do you four mean by coming here today? To show off or to provoke? In wealthy families, illegitimate children weren't rare. Richard just yelled. Have you made enough of a scene? Can you be sensible? Do you know what occasion this is? Of course I know. This is my mother's funeral. If I don't seek justice for her, I don't deserve to be her daughter. I scanned the guests and saw Sebastian had actually come. He was looking at me in shock. I didn't care. I continued with a mocking smile. Let me tell everyone another secret. I pointed at Caleb. Caleb had a heart transplant, and that heart was harvested from a living person. Ah, no way. Really, that's insane. Slap. The crowd was in an uproar. Before I could finish, Richard rushed over, raising his hand to slap me, but my brother, Ethan, stopped him, slapped him back, and warned, try touching my sister, you ungrateful brats. Do you want to rebel? Richard was so angry his face turned red, and he almost passed out. Ethan was taller and stronger than him. In a fight, Richard had no advantage. Take this bitch and her bastard spawn and get out. Don't dirty my mother's funeral. Otherwise, I don't mind carrying you out horizontally. Ethan cracked his knuckles, his threat clear. Richard wanted to play the happy family, but my brother and I weren't having it. Richard, I'm hurt. My ankle hurts. My waist hurts. Take me to the hospital. Brenda suddenly whined, acting as if she were gravely injured. Richard thought for a moment, picked her up, and left immediately, afraid that staying would reveal even more shameful secrets. Caleb and his sister, Jessica, glared at us darkly and hurried after them. Why didn't you call me? After order was restored, Sebastian stood beside me, fingering his prayer beads. Just a son-in-law in name only, and soon not even that. There was no need. I stared at my mother's portrait, responding indifferently. Sebastian was speechless with anger, staring at me, but he didn't explode in front of everyone. The funeral ended, and my mother was cremated. While waiting for the ashes, the video of the conflict at the funeral trended online. I had ordered my staff to do it. I wanted the MO family's reputation ruined. Along with it, I attached my mother's autopsy report, the car accident report, evidence of Brenda hiring hitmen, and the dark truth about Caleb's heart source. Riding the wave of popularity, I released everything to let the public judge and destroy the MO family socially. I owned a digital technology company that had been lying dormant for years, fully prepared. By the time Richard realized and tried to do PR, it was too late. The matter had exploded online. Sis, do we have no home now? My younger sister, Mia, asked sadly. I looked up from my phone and feigned firmness. No, as long as I'm here. Your home is here. Mom is gone. Are you going to divorce? Yes, I confirmed. Are you willing to let Tiffany bully you like that? No, no one is going to have a good time. You won't get yourself in trouble, right? Mia asked worriedly. No, I know my limits. After receiving the ashes, the three of us went to my villa. As soon as we entered, the housekeeper said Sebastian and his mother were there. How can you bring that thing home? How unlucky. You really know nothing. You could have stored it at the funeral home. Seeing my brother holding the urn and my sister holding the photo, Mrs. Caldwell frowned and complained with disgust. I retorted coldly, this is my house, even if I turn it into a mausoleum. It's none of your business. Mrs. Caldwell was furious. Watch your tone. I was reminding you out of kindness. No need to bite. Sebastian sat on the sofa with his legs crossed, indifferent as usual, silently staring at me while counting his beads. Say what you need to say, or leave. I'm not in the mood to entertain you. Mrs. Caldwell got angrier. Your mother died. Why didn't you notify the Gu family? Did you want to embarrass us? The Gu family has plenty of embarrassing things. One more won't matter. Besides, your son and I will be divorced soon, so there's no need for involvement. I ignored them, putting the urn in place. What did you say? Divorce? Mrs. Caldwell asked in shock. I sat down and looked at Sebastian. Find a time to draft the agreement and handle the procedures. Your mother just passed. I understand you're upset. Don't use divorce to vent. You might regret it, Sebastian said calmly, with a hint of warning. Right. No need to mention divorce so casually. Mrs. Caldwell added quickly, prioritizing profit. My mind is made up. This is a notification, not a negotiation. If you don't agree, I'll sue. Don't blame me for being ruthless then. Is it because of Tiffany and Toby? Sebastian remained emotionless. I told you, they won't affect your status. Huh, I sneered. Really? I still remember your face when you rushed over to slap me a few days ago. What? That bastard. You dared to hit my sister. Ethan jumped up furiously but was held back by Mia. You call yourself a Buddhist. What kind of man hits his wife? Watch your mouth. Mrs. Caldwell scolded. Ethan got angrier. My mouth is dirty. Teach your son better. If the upper beam is crooked, the lower beam will be too. Is he even human? Parading his mistress and bastard around town and refusing to divorce. Does he think my sister is easy to bully? Scumbag. Hypocrite. Poked in his sore spot, Sebastian scolded me. I never hid Tiffany's existence. What are you making a fuss about now? You didn't hide it, but I didn't expect you to have no integrity. I hate mistresses and illegitimate children the most. I'm not making a fuss. My mother is gone, so I don't need to endure it anymore. Is that clear? I spared no feelings. Sebastian stood up abruptly, gritting his teeth. You want a divorce? Keep dreaming. Sebastian Gu, only have widowhood, not divorce. He left without looking back. Mrs. Caldwell asked palely. So, you posted those videos online. You want to destroy the MO family. That doesn't seem to concern you. Worry about yourself. I said coldly. Mrs. Caldwell grabbed her bag and left. What kind of garbage people are they? Ethan muttered. The next morning, the stock of the Mo family's company Zenith Group hit the limit down. In the afternoon, Brenda and Richard were arrested. The scandal, including the black market heart transplant, stayed on the trending list, enraging the public. In the evening, the Mo family elders summoned me to the old mansion. Crash. Grandfather threw a teacup at me. You unfilial wretch. What good does ruining the family do you? I dodged the cup. No benefit. But I want revenge for my mom. Dragging a few enemies down with her isn't excessive, is it? My Uncle David said. If the Mo family collapses, your life in the Gu family won't be easy. Take the videos down. If your mom was murdered, would you sweep it under the rug? I retorted. Without the Mo family, I can't get revenge. The wealth and power in your hands are knives stabbing the weak. The owner of the heart in Caleb's body was a girl in her early 20s. She was hit by a car and had her heart harvested alive. Is that fair? Grandfather clutched his chest. I continued. You old fools didn't teach your children well and indirectly killed my mom. Retribution is fair. We rise and fall together. What did we do wrong? My Aunt Linda shouted. You treated my mom and us like dirt. Oh, right. I have dirt on you too. Aunt Linda, don't push me. You're crazy. Grandmother stared at me darkly. I smiled mockingly. Do you want to kill me? If I die, your end will be even more miserable. Grandfather fainted from anger and was rushed to the hospital. A few days later, Caleb died stabbed by the father of the heart donor. To retaliate, Jessica spread rumors online that I was the mistress and had engineered the car accident 7 years ago to marry Sebastian. Tiffany joined in, claiming she was the victim, but I fought back. I released surveillance footage showing Tiffany causing the accident by grabbing the steering wheel during an argument with Sebastian. I also exposed her history of cheating. Because Sebastian protected her, her negative press was quickly suppressed, but her reputation in the circle was ruined. That night, at a private club, I overheard Sebastian talking to his friend, Marcus. Since you like Tiffany so much, why not divorce and marry her? Marcus asked. She's not suitable to be a wife. She can't handle my family. Sebastian replied indifferently. Aren't you afraid Audrey will checkmate you one day? She'll come back. If she wants a child, I'll give her one. Ha ha ha. I'm curious though. Where did she get all that inside info? Is she a private investigator? I don't know. Not interested. I only know she owns a tech company. I walked away and bumped into an acquaintance Adrian. Mr. G. Long time no see. Adrian smiled. Join me for a drink. Sure. In a private room, I asked him to acquire Zenith Group. What's your plan after that? He asked. Kick the Mo family out. I have leverage on my aunt and uncle. Okay, but when are you getting divorced? Adrian asked abruptly. I want to, but Sebastian won't agree. Need my help. How? He'd rather be a widower than divorced. Then make him a widower. Adrian joked darkly. We drank, and I ended up crying about my mother. Adrian listened silently and drove me home. Unfortunately, a paparazzi snapped a misleading photo of us. Headline: Zenith Group heiress marriage crisis. Suspected affair with mystery man. The next day, Sebastian called furiously. I ignored him and went to the marital home with divorce papers. Tiffany and Toby were there. Bad woman is here. Toby yelled and hid behind Tiffany. I laughed mockingly. Is this kid really yours? He looks mentally underdeveloped. Wasn't he in a car accident? How is he unhurt? Mo. No need to be nasty to a child, Tiffany said, playing the victim. A child reflects the parent's upbringing. If you can't teach him, don't have him. I handed the divorce papers to Sebastian. Sign. Are you in a rush because of Adrian? He asked darkly. None of your business. I won't divorce you, scumbag. Fine. See you in court. I went upstairs to pack my things. Tiffany cried downstairs, threatening suicide if Sebastian didn't marry her. Sebastian ignored her. He came into the bedroom. Let's talk. I owe Tiffany, so I have to make it up to her, but I can send them away, as long as you don't divorce. Name your price. Ha, you really are trash. You owe her, so I have to pay. Get out. I threw a bag at his face. He caught it, looking at me with complicated eyes. I moved everything out. A week later, Adrian acquired most of Zenith Group. I visited Richard in detention to get his shares. Do you hate me that much? He asked. Shouldn't I? You destroyed my mom's life. I told him about the acquisition and Caleb's death. He signed the papers with trembling hands. I'm sorry, he whispered as I left. Save it. A month later, I sued for divorce. The court granted it immediately due to the overwhelming evidence. After that, Adrian moved next door to me and practically lived at my place. Another month later, Brenda was sentenced to death. Richard got 20 years. Jessica got 3 years for assault. Finally, I buried my mother properly. 1 year later, Adrian and I married. Another year later, I gave birth to a daughter, Sophie. We met Sebastian and Tiffany again at the aquarium. Long time no see, Sebastian said. He looked lifeless. Tiffany looked at me with resentment. Rumor had it Sebastian never married her. He had lost his inheritance rights and started his own small company. Your daughter, she's cute, Sebastian said. She's ugly, Toby shouted. Watch your mouth, kid, Adrian warned. Sorry, he's spoiled, Sebastian apologized. Barren soil can't grow roses, Adrian commented as we walked away. Come on, bad luck, Daddy. Mermaid, Sophie pointed at the tank. It's a person in a costume. Honey, Adrian explained patiently. Can Daddy be a mermaid? I teased, with my looks. Sure, Adrian laughed and kissed my cheek. Say you love me. I rolled my eyes but smiled. Adrian's perspective. I first fell for Audrey at Sebastian's wedding. She looked like a white rose, beautiful but restrained. I felt Sebastian didn't deserve her. Later, I proved right. He was trash. When she decided to revenge and divorce, I helped her secretly. I spent 6 months courting her and another 6 months tricking her into marriage. She knew my tricks but played along willingly. Sebastian's perspective. Habit is scary. I got used to Audrey's docility and thought she'd never leave, but she was only hiding her claws. Tiffany was my first love, but she ruined my life. Seeing Audrey remarried, with a daughter and a bright smile, I heard her voice again. You really are a rotten person. Yes, I am. I failed my wife, my child, and my mother. I don't deserve to be human.